I'm going to review The Sun and the Starmaker by Rachel Griffin, and I received this early copy from Sourcebooks Fire in exchange for an honest review, and I'm going to be referring to my written review often, so if I'm looking down, that's what's going on. I would recommend this to people who liked Stephanie Garber, Adeline Grace, Margaret Rogerson. I feel like this book has a lot of the same elements, story beats, energy as those authors, so this book reminds me a lot of stories like An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson, in the sense that it's very character driven and the world building that we see is very small pockets. It's very kind of closed in that sense. This book focuses on Aurora Finch, who is the main character, and she's been chosen by the sun to become the next Starmaker. So the current Starmaker is in charge of training her as his successor, and in my review I said, it's giving Akatsuki no Yona when a new dragon is born, if you know, you know. Of course, this comes with a lot of emotional turmoil, having to upend her life, separate from her family, deal with completely new trajectories for her life. And so over the course of this book, she and the Starmaker form a initially very transactional relationship, which slowly builds and develops into something more. At times, this book made me feel very melancholic, and at other times, it was very cozy and entertaining. And this book cover is so stunning. As I was reading, I would see different like descriptions of items and things and be like, that's got to be on the cover, and it is. This cover is filled with little Easter eggs from the story, and I didn't notice it at first, but this is a whole castle and these are villages. I did not notice that when I first looked at it, but it's obvious to me now. This book is supposed to be a very cozy story, so I don't expect the characters to question the fabric of the world and go on a quest to completely change the way that society is formed and built and the magic system or whatever. But I do think like it would have been nice to add that in, especially because in the book, Aurora is constantly questioning why things work the way they do and getting met with the answer of like, that's just how it is, or like, that's what the sun has chosen, or whatever. This book was a fun read. I read it in one sitting during a plane ride, and it was very engaging, though I think it's a very slow burn, slow sort of storytelling, but that makes sense to me in terms of like winter times and all these like different facets of the book.